Hello, Virgo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of May 24th through the 30th. And during that time, we have a first quarter moon that comes in on the 24th, and that's a time when you might feel impulsive and impatient. Your mind might be a little active. It's just hard to get things done. So either grab that by the horns and learn how to be in control and dominate those impulses, or just take the day and relax. So it just depends on how you want to handle that. We also then have the waxing gibbous energy for the rest of the week, and that's a time of deeper understanding and outlook. We're really working on those things that we started during the new moon, but it's a good time for us to demonstrate that we can be flexible and make adjustments where they need to be made. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Virgo. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. And your overall message this week is a new start is coming. All right, well, that's kind of exciting. A new start for the Virgo collective. Let's see what you guys have going on. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you keep a spiritual journal. I believe there's a little thread there I've picked up. Yeah, I was just glancing at the Virgo title from last week, and it was Awakening. So you guys had some sort of spiritual thing going on. Keeping a spiritual journal kind of keeps track of those little awakenings. And I say little awakenings because I feel like those things kind of come in layers. We're awakened to a thing and we learn, and then we live our life and include that thing, and then there's another bit of awakening, and each time, it's just good to have a journal of those things that are happening as those things emerge, and then you can look back on them and say, oh, that's when I started doing this thing, or this is when I incorporated this spiritual practice into my life, and look what it's done for me. Has it been positive? Has it been negative? Is it working? Is it not? Do I need to make adjustments there? So that is what keeping a spiritual journal, it really helps with those things. So that is my fun weekly reminder for you, Virgo. So let's get on with this reading. Virgo, May 24th through the 30th, a new start is coming. Your present energy right now, Virgo, is the Six of Wands. And I've seen the Six of Wands quite a bit in the readings this week. So this is about, kind of feeling a little bit of, just kind of some recognition from the people around you, from your community. This could be from your work community, your family, friends. People are like, hey, I see you, and I see this thing this hurdle that you've accomplished or gotten over, or this thing that you're working on, and I see you. So it's just nice a little bit sometimes to have that kind of recognition come through. Your current situation right now is the King of Cups. So you're definitely in a place where you're working on being very knowledgeable about your own emotional reactions and your emotions to particular things. And also, what that does is it opens up not only your own knowledge, but it shows you start to have an understanding of the people around you. A king is worried about his constituents and what's going on, and has all the knowledge about that. So you can kind of start to see the emotional motivations of people around you in particular situations, because you're learning this about yourself. And once that, again, it's like an onion. Once that onion is peeled open, it's like, oh, I can see this now for other people as well. So that's a very interesting thing. So you might be having like just a new emotional start where, you're just understanding yourself better, which helps you understand the world better. All right, what is at the root of your situation this week is the Four of Cups. So there's been something that you weren't super thrilled about, and maybe that's what's caused this. You've had to go examine these emotions. Am I reacting correctly to this, to this disappointment? Is that normal? Is it not? So we're all kind of doing those checks and balances all the time, but there's been some sort of disappointment that's kind of moving you into this new start. It's like maybe something didn't work out, and sometimes that's okay. Sometimes we don't realize that that thing not working out was the catalyst for us to work on ourselves and move towards something different and even better in most cases. What is in your recent past here is the Star card. So you've been on a particular trajectory. Like I said, I know that your reading last week, your title was Awakening. So there's something that's kind of keeping you on course and guiding you. And that's really just the universe, and that's how it works. It's guiding you in a certain direction. And maybe, again, that's why this thing that you thought you wanted, it's a disappointment, right now, but you may turn around and say, "Oh, well, again, thank God that thing happened because it moved me in this other direction I'm happy that I ended up here." Sometimes that's very hard to see in the moment, and we're just disappointed by it. And we're like, "Oh, that didn't work out, and I thought it was going to, and this was going to be great." And blah blah blah, and you kind of get mired down in the thoughts and feelings about that instead of just gracefully accepting what it is, moving on, because this new start that you have might not involve whatever that is, or that might be coming in the future just in a different form. Okay, what is on your mind this week is the Four of Wands. So, some sort of celebration or something. I've also seen this card a couple of times. So, we are kind of getting into wedding season, and there might be, just a time where you're getting together with friends and family to celebrate, either a wedding or some sort of anniversary or something, but that's on your mind through all of this. So, that's pretty nice. And it's a new start. For some of you, it might be your wedding that you're getting ready for. It might be a big anniversary that's important to you. So wherever you are in your love situation, just think about the new start and think about some sort of celebration that is coming about for you or that you'll be involved with. All right, what is just ahead of you this week is the Hierophant. So you're going to seek out some sort of spiritual guidance this week, and maybe it's about this disappointment. I also just noticed that this is a 4-4. So, I'm very sensitive to the 4-4s. I see them all the time, but do look up angel number 44 for this week. Anyway, so you're seeking out some sort of guidance with this Hierophant card. It could be while you're at a tarot reading. You may be at some sort of impasse with this disappointment, and you're like, well, what do I do? And so you go looking for tarot readings for your sign to see if there's any advice or guidance out there. So if you found me that way, hello, welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. I appreciate you being here, and I hope this is of some help to you. But it looks like that is something that you will be doing this week. And this could be seeking guidance again in the way of a tarot reading or a church service or just someone in the spiritual realm. It could be a book that you read or a lecture that you watch. You're kind of looking for to kind of how do I manage this in the spiritual in a spiritual way, whatever's going on in your life right now. In your advice position here is the Fool card. So this is about taking off onto a new journey, which a new start is coming. And maybe that's all of these things are leading to this new start. Again, for some of you, it is about a wedding or an anniversary or something that kind of just puts you on the path to have a new start for whatever it is in whatever time of your life. We all have these new starts that happen constantly, and we go through a cycle and we start the next thing new. So again, maybe this disappointment is something that pushed you to this new start, or again, it's something you're kind of supposed to not be quite there yet. I'm just getting the feeling that it's whatever this was that you were kind of disappointed with the way it happened, that it's going to happen in a better positive way for you in the future. So just relax, get through it, right? What is beyond your control this week is, yeah, with any new start comes an ending. So you have to make space for these endings when things happen. Things have to end in order to have a new start. It's just the way it goes. So I'm just not surprised to see a 10 in there, some sort of ending, something that you're putting aside and you're done with so that you can take off on this new path. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is the Wheel of Fortune. Well, I hope it is your secret desire, because the Wheel of Fortune is about evolving. It's about becoming a new person. It's the wheel in the sky keeps turning. I don't know where I'll be tomorrow. I always think about that song when this card comes out, because it's so true. One little thing changes your life or moves you in a different direction, and bam, you're off on this new path that you didn't even know was a possibility. That could be, just one little thing, one money windfall, and that changes your life. One meeting of the right person that changes your life. Maybe you're getting married. One job that comes in changes your life. So that's what the Wheel of Fortune is about. It's to know that even on a new journey, that things are ever evolving, and to just kind of keep your eyes open to what's coming in. Again, I hope you're not trying to avoid the Wheel of Fortune. None of us really can, and that's a lucky thing. It's about being lucky, starting off on this new foot, on this new path, and just kind of saying yes to some things that might happen and might have a positive effect on the rest of your life. And your outcome position here is the Nine of Cups. So you're definitely feeling, this is like a card of self-satisfaction. You're feeling like, yeah, I did this. Look at me. This is great. And that's okay. You can feel that. You've got this new journey coming up. It looks like you're maintaining a positive attitude and you're trying to learn through this new start. And I think it's very exciting. I mean, I'm just getting this feeling of like, oh, it's fun. It's fun when you don't know exactly what's ahead of you. You know, you look at this Fool card. He doesn't know what he's about to step off into. I mean, even his dog is trying to warn him, hey, you're stepping off this cliff, but the Fool doesn't care. The Fool is like, let's go, let's get it going. So I really love that attitude for you, Virgo. All right, what's hidden from you here at the bottom of the deck is the King of Pentacles. So you may want to try to keep an eye this week. You know, we didn't have any other pentacles on the table, but keep an eye on your finances, on your money. Make sure that if that's hidden from you this week, you know, you might just want to check in, touch base with things in the material realm while you're dealing with spiritual realm and different things that are going on there. You just may need to touch base with that a little bit if that's hidden from you. All right, let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message here for Virgo as they take part in this new start. Face your shadow. Okay, so while you're doing this new start, there may be some things that you're learning. You know, and learning about doing shadow work. There's a lot of information out there on doing that. And it is a good thing for all of us to look within and understand the darker parts of ourself. Only because they're motivators that if we don't really understand them, we can fall victim to them, really. So, but get out and maybe look at that, but face your own shadow and understand your own darker parts so that you can move on in a positive way and in a more light way. All right, let's get you a self-care wisdom card here. What does Virgo need to do in the way of self-care this week? Self-care for Virgo, and the card that you get is the card called Elevate. You get what you believe you deserve. It's time to raise your standards. And that really could be all this is about, this new journey. It's just raising your standards. Again, I was talking about this thing being, you know, that you're disappointed by this, and maybe that you're disappointed that and this thing didn't come through for you because there's something even better. So whatever that might be, you know, think about something you've been recently disappointed about and maybe raise your standards of thinking and want bigger and better for yourself. Maybe the bar was too low. So set that bar up a little higher and aim for that when it comes to your thoughts and ideas and meditation. So Virgo, thank you so much for being here. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in a positive way in your own life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below. Let me know, did anything here resonate, or do you have questions about anything? Because I would be happy to answer this for you as well. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe really helps my channel, and I appreciate that so much. So thank you so much for doing that if you've already done that. And also, it helps you find me next week. So come on back next week, Virgo, and let's see where this story goes. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.